y'all, let's do this. Welcome to Hardcore Enduro, where it's all about getting out, riding the hard stuff. I'm George, guy behind the bars and the voice behind the mic. Got a good one for y'all today, just a nice trail ride. Got a new area, haven't been here before. It's called Whiskey Ridge, and it's about 2 hours from my house. Got up really early this morning and headed on up. Now, it's been a long time since I've been on the bike. Last time I rode was the Donner Hard Enduro, so it's been almost 2 months, I guess a month and 3 weeks since I've been on Trixie here. I still got the same setup from the Donner Hard Enduro, so she's ready for any of the hard stuff, which we're gonna get into some of that today. We got just some double wide here, and then we got some Jeep trails, transfer service roads up here. Then you know how I do it. I'm gonna find the hard stuff, because that's what this channel is all about. There we go, right into a black diamond. There was a little marker, so this is a marked trail, and I use my OnX off-road app. That's why I find most of my trails here. And this is not very well trafficked here, which is awesome. I love finding these trails that just not a lot of people go on. Now, there was a forest fire up here, I think 2 years ago. You can just tell it burnt the hell out of everything. Most of this ride is going through this burnout forest, so later on you're going to have a lot of fallen dead trees just from the forest fire, and then a lot of new growth brush, which the new growth brush kind of hides the trail in certain spots. You just got to be a little bit careful, because you know there's a lot of fallen logs and sticks and branches, stuff like that, and the brush will hide it, and you don't want to catch yourself off guard. Flip yourself over the handlebars here. Nice little hill climb through the rocks. I did my warm-ups this morning. I believe in doing a nice little warm-up. I do my full lock turn, figure eights. I do my pivot turns, of course. I'm a huge pivot turn guy. And then some wheelies and my static balance. That is my warm-up. I spent about, 5 minutes doing that. You know, not a long time, but it helps. That little extra practice, it helps. And you'll see I use it quite a bit throughout the ride. So the better you get at that stuff, the better your ride is going to be. And also, I got a nice single malt Scotch whiskey, 12 years. It's called a Glenfarclas. And it is beautiful, nice little smokiness on it. I got it with the big cube. She's sitting at 47.1 alcohol, which is real nice. She is a little smoky, like I said, but still really smooth. I'm kind of partial towards scotches. Bourbon, I'm not so much a bourbon guy. I do have some bourbon there, but bourbon to me just has a little bit more bite to it. Now, one thing I want to talk about is a really special event this week that happened. I went on an honor flight with my dad, so I'm going to talk about that right now. My dad, he was in the Air Force, and he signed up for, it's called the Honor Flight, and what their mission is to take veterans, it started with the World War II veterans, to fly them back to Washington, D.C., so that they can see the memorials that our country's built for them. And it started with the Dennis and his buddy. They were working on some of these World War II vets back in the 2000s, and they're like, hey, have you guys... They just finished World War II Memorial in 2006, and they're like, hey, you guys, have you been back to see the memorial? And they're like, no, not going to get around. They don't have the money for it. Yeah, it's deer season up here, so there are some hunters up here I'm going to run into. But anyways, these veterans, these World War II vets, they're back then they're in their 90s, and, that's run out of time to go see this memorial that took forever for them, for our country to build. So they flew them out on their own private planes, and since then it's grown into this organization with, I think they said 120 chapters around the United States. And they take veterans, and they pay for their flight, for their hotel, for their food, and they have it all set up as a tour, and you go back there and you see all the veteran memorials, which I really liked. I've been to D.C. before. Nice climb. Here, didn't quite get on the gas. Now, real soft through here, but Trixie, she kept grabbing, kept biting. GoPro never shows you how steep this stuff is, but she kept going. Had to stop, just recoup, get a little rock back, and keep on up. But it's a full paid expense for the veterans, and then you have each veteran gets a guardian assigned to him. So my dad went. He was in Vietnam War in the Air Force, then I went as his guardian, and then I got assigned another gentleman, Tim, who was in the Marines, which I got along with instantly, because of course I was in the Marines. And you get two Marines, two knuckleheads together, and we just had a great time. Very nice gentlemen, and it's just awesome meeting these other veterans, and from all the branches too. So I love all the branches of the military now, and I just think it's fantastic that we have a organization, Honor Flight, that sets up such a wonderful experience to go see these memorials. And I'm going to be a little biased here. I think the Marine Memorial of the sticking the flag on top of Mount Suribachi there was, for me, the best memorial of the trip. But we went to a whole bunch of them, and we did have 4 World War II veterans on the flight there. And one of them, Bob, was on the USS Curtis, actually in Pearl Harbor when the Japanese attacked. And his ship got hit and got blown up, but fellas died, and they actually put the ship back together, and he finished the war, got out in 1947. So he was in the Navy the entire...
Oh, it's just flaming out.
That's a 4-stroke. That's what it does. It flames out on you. But she starts right up again and keeps on going. So that was really awesome, Bob. He did the whole World War II experience from 1941 to 1947 when he finally got out. And then the other gentleman there too as well. It's just amazing seeing history like that. But just individuals that when our nation was at one of our greatest turning points in the history, other than maybe like the Civil War. I mean, World War II, you had World War I, of course, but World War II.
I didn't even see that one.
Yeah, that little, I was looking around right there, and that little dead branch caught me off guard. Rolled back, get some momentum. Momentum is king. Get right up and over. But just cool seeing, like I said, the World War II guys were there, and then we had our Korean veterans. My uncle was in the Korean War. So that was pretty amazing. My uncle really never talked about it, so I really didn't learn. I mean, he passed away already, so I kind of missed any stories that he could have passed down. Some of these guys, and that's another thing I want to bring up about this honor flight. Some of these guys, you know, as far as being in a combat experience, some people don't like talking about it. I like it. I don't know. It affects everyone differently, and I have no problem talking about it. I loved my experience in the Marine Corps. Going to war, I was a door gunner on a 46 helicopter, and I saw my fair share of action. And I love it. You know, there's so much happened, and you do forget all the things that happen. And you know, you start talking to these other veterans, and it reminds you of another experience you had. And we actually had a lot of things in common as far as experience. You know, different war times, but we actually had a lot of similar situations. So it was just fun. And really, because we're all veterans on the flight, got to open up, and they were telling me stuff that they haven't talked about in a long time. So that was great. I can't talk, you know, I can't shut up about it. It was just a great experience. And of course, we had all our Vietnam veterans too. And my dad, you know, I've heard a lot about his stories. He was in the Air Force, flew all around the world, but there's a lot of little stories that he hasn't said, and he just forgotten about. And there was a bunch of other Air Force guys there, and so they get to talking, and then it starts triggering him to remember other stories that he lived through. So I got to hear new stuff. You know, my dad's 84 years old. I'm 44. I've grown up listening to him flying around the world, but even now I got to hear a couple more stories that I never even knew happened. So that was just a wonderful experience. So, all right, enough about the honor flight. My salute to them. That was awesome. Now we're back to riding. Again, I think I went back to riding already. All right, so we just went up that hill of that kind of black diamond single track. Wasn't too hard. I mean, they call it black diamond. To me, on a number scale, I would have gave that probably difficulty-wise, really just only a 6. So it wasn't too hard. Now, a lot of this riding today is going to have fallen trees and fallen logs in your way that aren't polished off, you know, so they got the little extra branches sticking out, which makes it really tricky. And these trails here, because the trail ferries haven't come through and cut all the logs, it keeps a lot of riders away. It is beautiful through here. It's kind of just old service road, real green. Some of it, like I said, most of the ride today is to the forest fire section of the forest, but there are still some green sections here. You got all these mountain streams, natural springs up here that are still pumping out water. There's no snow up here, but there's still water being pumped out of the mountains up here. And right here is a creek. To the right, the road had washed away. I don't know when that was, but you had to go down this little outside line here. And of course, there's some hunters out here, and they're parked right in the middle of the road. Now, there was a lot of service road riding today that I just cut out just because it's boring riding on a Forest Service road. And then I haven't been here before, but I did do some reconnaissance on my Google Earth and my OnX off-road map, and I found this spot, and it was unique. If you look, it's a big flat rock here, and on the top, you can see it really easy in Google Earth. They had these round holes. See these round holes left and right there, and it looked man-made from the Google Earth side, looking down. But as you get here, I don't know if they were man-made. This looks kind of weird. Get about, see these holes right there. There's two right there. There's another one.
Through the holes.
And they're kind of staggered out. So maybe these were man-made. There had to be some structure. There might have been a tower here or something like that built back in the day, and they since removed it. So I just wanted. I saw that on my map whenever I ride, especially new area. I do a lot of research on Google Earth and OnX off-road, just to look for areas, look for trails, stuff like that, or just look for obstacles or something I'd like to go find and see. So now I got to cut back to the main road, and I saw a little cow trail through here. So I'm just kind of following where the cows have gone. Got some fallen logs. Got to get a lot of the 511 special practices today. Some I do really good, and some I don't. Let's see how this one turns out. Wait back. Wait forward. She pops right on up. See how easy that works? I'm at that stage of my skills of riding where I can get through almost any obstacle. Now, I don't do it clean. I ain't no pro, but I'm able to get through over almost every obstacle I encounter. I know I can clear it. So that really has opened up my riding, and I really can go anywhere, which is just fun. It makes it a lot of fun. Come up here's a little fallen log, and there's a little woodpecker hole down there. So I saw that.
There's a woodpecker nest. Huh.
I'm sure you guys have all seen woodpecker nests right there, but they're usually up in the tree. If that tree falling over, I got a good look at it. So I'm getting a lot of practice of setting that front tire up there. Wait back, wait forward. Oh, I didn't get it that time. It's not always pretty, but you do save a lot of energy, not having to drag that bike over and not having the bike tip on you. When that bike go to a rock or a log, it tips over, then you got to deadlift it up. Or you got to push it. What you don't want to do is push your bike. Pushing your bike, number one, is the most exhausting thing on the bike. And then deadlifting. Deadlifting is probably number two. It'll take out just zap all your strength that you had. Finally made it across country here, back to the main forest road. I'm gonna hop on this, ride quite a ways. So I point that next ridge up. I have been over to that ridge, and there's a tower there called Shut-Eye Peak Lookout Tower. And that sits around, what is that at? I have it in my notes. 8,300 feet. They have a really awesome lookout tower up there. You ride up there, very rocky towards the top. It's like a Jeep trail, so you get some nice rock crawling practice on the bike here. And you can overlook the valley, and there's a lookout tower, and there's actually active, so someone's up there usually. But a lot of Jeeps go through that trail right there. When we started today, we started about 4,200 feet, and the highest elevation I got to today was 6,900 feet, so a little bit of elevation climb, but not much, It's not like I went up a mile or something like that. Nice and cool. Temperature today was about 60 degrees when I started, and then it got a little bit hotter towards the end of the day. It was about 81 degrees by the time I ended this ride. There was no wind, though, And later on, you'll see it gets into that hard stuff. I get into some fallen log sections where it's a battle. Every foot's a battle to get through. Nice little dip right there. And so I was getting pretty hot in that area. I was starting to doubt myself too. You'll see that when it comes up. Now this is pretty easy sailing through here. This is one of the more popular lines. You can see a lot of this area the trail ferries have been through, cutting up the fallen logs. And I've never seen the trail ferry in action though. You know, I know they're out there. I'm working on a shirt that says "Beware, trail ferries are real." Because I've never seen one actually on the trail, but I just see the work after they're done. So I know they're out there, but I've yet to see one in real life. But going through here, a little rocky, bumpy through here, but it had a really nice flow to it. Yeah, a lot of fun. You know, I love riding the hard stuff for sure. Slow, really technical, getting over each little obstacle, but having something with a nice little flow, especially in the forest here. You know, it's nice and cool right now, and it's just a lot of fun, just having a little bit of a flow, not having to worry about any obstacle, and I can just have fun, get some speed going. Trixie, she ran great today, but I don't know if you guys have noticed, there's a light on. My check engine light is on.
Powder.
Yeah, it's real powdery through here, real dusty. This, where the main trails are here, where everyone's riding, they were real dusty. This is one of the benefits of riding solo, is I don't have to eat the dust. Now, if you ride with the group, I can imagine behind me, it'd probably look at just like a cloud of dust right behind me. So sometimes riding solo, it is a little bit. It's fun riding with your buddy. Don't get me wrong, I love riding with someone. The ride solo just has a little bit of advantage. I don't have to eat dust the whole damn ride. But back to my check engine light. I got it when I was riding the Donner Hard Enduro, and I tried to research what the hell is causing the light come on or what it means. So it comes on. You turn the bike off, and it'll flash 5 times slow. It's like a flash, flash, flash. You know, it does it 5 times. And I've tried to YouTube it. I've looked on just Googling it, and I can't find anyone that has the answer. I've changed the oil out. She still runs strong. You know, I don't know what an issue is. Usually when there's an issue, the performance of the bike suffers or something like that. Now, during Donner, she did sputter on me a couple times. It was almost like a fuel issue. So maybe the fuel filter, I'm sure there's a little filter inside the gas tank. Maybe I need to pull that out, clean it out. But she's running great. I mean, you hear it, she's just purring right along. Didn't sputter, didn't hesitate. I mean, she had power. I just don't know what it is. Maybe I did change the oil, which I change the oil almost every ride or every other ride. Depends on how hard I went, how much I slipped the clutch. I am pretty heavy on the clutch, as you'll see as we get through some of the slower, more technical stuff later on. And but I just don't know what was causing this light to come on. So it's on right now, and I just don't know how to get off. It's kind of annoying. And we're coming up to Whiskey Falls now. Got to ride a little bit of the service road here. There are some, like I said, some guys camping up here and hunting. But Whiskey Falls, so that's, I've never been here before. Come down, it's off to the right. Really beautiful waterfall. And it didn't say keep away or anything, so I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna ride on up to it. We got that Metzler 6 Days gummy tire right here. She grabs really good on these rocks. Beautiful waterfall. It's got this overhang. You can go behind there. I was almost thinking to park the bike behind the water. But I come up here to park and look to the left right there where I gotta put my left foot down. There's a little hole in the rock. And I almost eat shit right here. But luckily I got my toe kept up and my heel went in the hole, but my toe caught myself. I didn't fall over. Anyways, didn't bring my tripod. Got to use the little rocks, keep the phone up for the photo. I got to run back. Running in boots. Turn for the photo pose. Yeah. That's my signature pose right there, folks.
That photo right here.
And I love Onyx Off-Road. So when you're riding, you can take a photo and you can add it into your trail ride so you know like there's an obstacle. Usually I do this quite a bit. If there's an obstacle or a view or something like that, I'll take a photo and it adds right there on the trail where you're riding. So you can go back and you can know at that area what it looked like, the way you saw. It's pretty cool. Anyway, it's got this big overhang. It's pretty deep. Yeah, I was thinking I could bring the bike and I could park it right here because I'm standing up right now. It is bigger than it looks on the GoPro. And I thought that'd be a cool picture with the bike behind the falls. But I didn't. Now let's get riding again. We still got a long ways to go, and we still got to find the hard stuff, which, trust me, y'all, I'm going to find the hard stuff. I have like a nose for it. I'm like the hound, or basset hound is my brother's dog. That basset hound can find anything. I find the hard trails every time I ride. It cracks me up because a lot of times I start out the ride, especially like I haven't ridden for a while. I'm like, all right, just take it easy today, you know. Take it easy, Georgie. You just don't have the conditioning. Just have a nice flowy ride. But sure enough, I find the hard stuff, and that I did today. If you stay for the towards the end of the video, you'll see what I'm talking about, and it's gonna be pretty good. It caught me off guard a little bit, but I was able to get through. I was kind of psyched out by that time. I was going through all these dead fallen logs. I was kind of psyching myself out a little bit, but I pulled myself together, made it up the hill, and I was really proud of myself. And then, like an idiot, so I have what I've been wanting to do for a long time is set up a little ammo can. So I got my little 30 caliber ammo can in my backpack right now with a bunch of stickers. And I was gonna place it out here, and that would have been the perfect spot for it. All right, found some single track here. Let's take a right. Still really flowy through here. Little jump. Come on, George, you can hit that jump bigger than that. That was kind of weak. But nice flowy single track through here. Crossing a little creek. This is fun. This type of riding right here, I really enjoy this too. Really fast, flowy. Trails all being cleared out, so you don't really have to worry about hitting a rock obstacle or hitting a log that's at a slant or anything like that. It's a lot of fun. They got some of those water brakes built in, so you can get some little jumps here and there. You know, if you ride the hard stuff, and trust me, I love the hard stuff, but if you ride that non-stop, you get beat up and wore out. And I have done those kind of trails. You've seen them if you've seen my videos. I have done these beat you up trails non-stop, and after 5 hours, 6 hour ride, you're about to fall over dead and sell your bike and never ride again because you're just so exhausted, so beat up. But so a nice little flowy trail is like a little relaxing payoff. You know, it is fun to ride. Yeah, almost washed out the front end back there, but caught myself. That front tire is really nice, so it's still that VX40 from IRC. It's gonna be hard for me to not choose my front tire. It has a little bit softer compound, so when you got on these hard turns for loamy ground for a track, it's too soft. But when you're turning on rocks and stuff, it has a little bit more give, so it's less likely to wash out on you. You know, just slide out from under it. It folds and it kind of wraps to the rock a little bit. And I do have that plushy moose bib insert on the front tire. The rear tire, like I said, is that Messler 6 days. I only had the Donner on it, so it still has a ton of tread. And even after this ride, I'll flip it around and I'll ride it, the tire, you know, facing the other way, because it still has a nice front edge on it. And gummy tires, if you guys haven't ridden a gummy before, they just keep getting grip. Even though those knobs wearing down on this kind of riding and rocky stuff, they are just as good as a new tire. They just continue to get grip. Plus, I got that really soft moose setup too, so she's almost running flat. And I could tell there's a couple of hard hits she took today that moose is done, because it's flat for very slow technical obstacles. Is perfect. But once you get a little bit of speed on her, she is starting to bottom out a little too hard. So that'll be done with this moose, and we'll get another one going here. Really beautiful. Got a nice little rocky climb up here, and the trail goes left. Kind of snuck up on me. Wasn't ready, so just a nice little left pivot here. This is where that really soft moose setup and tire, like she just grabs. Really chunky rocks through here, but Trixie, she just eats this stuff up right now. Just steady on the throttle, and she ain't stopping. If you guys look between the handlebars there, I have my iPhone bag mounted, and I keep my OnX off-road app on, tracking me. And it's really nice in an area like I haven't ridden this area, so I like to have that map on. It keeps me from getting lost, and it helps me find new trails. And if I've ridden this area before, then I usually don't have it on. I'll have it on, but not like on the screen or something like that, because I'm familiar with the area. But this, I haven't ridden here, so I like having the map on. Find this little service road here. I see the slab up to the left, and I want to hit that. I'm gonna hit that slab, and it's just funny. Is I'm not the only.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, so we all think alike. Like dirt bike guys, we think alike. I just saw the slab and was like, oh, I want to hit this, and then I get up to it, and sure enough, there's a run going up it already. So I'm just gonna keep on going all the way up here, and to get up to the top of this ridge line. And here's the trail. So here's a trail coming right now. So I'm like, all right. We think alike. Dirt bike guys think alike. We always see an obstacle or a climb, and we're like, I want to hit that. And like, sure enough, somebody else wanted to hit that. So you find a trail. I got off that Jeep road now, and I'm up on this little dirt bike trail. It's kind of fun. Well, I think I dropped back down. So this is back on. You can see this is wide enough for a side-by-side. So they do have some side-by-side designated trails up here, and that was what this is. But you do get off it sometimes, and I ride solo, folks, so sometimes I do go off and kind of trailblaze on my own. Riding by myself, I'm not causing any damage to nature out here. So if I had a big group, some dirt bike groups are real big. They got 10 or more guys, and if they all go off-road, they're gonna burn in a trail real quick. Whereas me, sometimes I'll just do a little bit of exploring by myself. I'm not doing any damage to anything by myself. And then a lot of times I'm just riding old, forgotten trails, because usually it's a bunch of, we got fires, a bunch of fallen trees, and you'll see what I'm talking about if you haven't watched any of my previous videos. Is a lot of these trails I ride, I'm not afraid to hit the hard stuff, and there'll be fallen trees in the way. Trails there, and most people turn around, whereas I don't. I just go right on over the obstacle. It makes me work. I like working for the ride. I like the flowy stuff too, but it's a lot of fun finding obstacles that it makes you work. You got to get over that obstacle. Which, if you're gonna race hard enduro, you got to be able to go over obstacles. Because that's what hard enduro is all about. And I thought I saw a trail going up back there, so I backtrack, get over to it, but there was nothing. And then I do this. Look at that pivot turn right there. Boom. I love pivot turns, so I'm going here. Yeah, pivot turn. Good up here is a big old boulder right in the middle of the trail. See that boulder right there? And I was just talking about, yeah, you can't skip an obstacle there.
Turn the other way again.
All right, so now got to pivot back the other way.
Oh, that was a fail.
I know. Sometimes I hit pivot turns really good, and then sometimes I suck at them. But
to the left.
I try to practice. I always try to practice pivot turns. There you go. Look at that. Oh, I went too far. You watch the pros, they pivot turn perfectly every single time. Manny Letbeckler, Graham Jarvis, Billy Bolt, Mario, they're all pivot turning perfectly every time. So there's that big boulder in the middle of the road there. I'm going to hit it several times until I feel like I've mastered it. And it has a different face each side. There, I didn't zap it, so I didn't give it the old double blip there. It's big enough I got cut up. Here we go again, right over the middle. Now, didn't really give it that double blip, but I carried enough momentum where my momentum actually just carried me right up and over the rock. But I did it about 4 more times, and I felt like that was good. Or I did it 4 times previous. That was the 4th time. Anyways, if you guys come across obstacles, you gotta hit them. Don't be afraid. Hit an obstacle. Get good practice in. And like I said, if you're gonna plan to hit a hard enduro, I've had a lot of y'all watch my rides, and then you've entered your first hard enduro, which is awesome, by the way. I love that. Don't underestimate the obstacles. The hard enduros really bring obstacles, they're just non-stop. So get as much of that hard, of course the fast flowy trails are fun, but get that obstacle, conquering that one obstacle, get that practice in every time you ride, because it's going to be very valuable and help you out when you go to a race, a hard enduro race.
Very soft enduro today.
Yeah, I said it's soft. We really haven't hit any hard enduro style of riding yet, but that's coming up. That's what I was saying. I said, so far we're just kind of soft enduro. We got that soft enduro, not that hard enduro. We haven't turned it up to that level yet. And coming up here, got a nice little climb that I see that would be just kind of a fun little climb to do. Kind of turn it up that hard enduro level.
Get up on that slab up. Let's see.
Got a nice little climb right here, so I'm gonna hop off and do this little climb. Like I said, it's just me solo, so I don't feel like I'm causing that much damage. All right, here we go. Up, just kind of on the gas right here. I'm in, I think I'm in second gear right now. Just kind of steady on the throttle. She's grabbing. I didn't hit that one rock ledge that I wanted to hit. And there's a little ledge right there. Hit that up and over. There is a trail on the top of this ridge, and that's why I cut up here, because I looked on the map and I could see there's a trail here, and I was like, all right, that's a good excuse to do a little hill climb here and then hop on this trail. Here we are. I'm on this little ridge, and to the left there's some really tall peaks out at the distance right there. If you go, I'm gonna pull over here and I'm gonna show you where Shut Eye Peak is. Oh, look at a little fallen log. Gotta get your log practice in, folks. You see a fallen tree, go hit it. But I'm gonna cut back here and I'll show you Shut Eye Peak, which honestly you can't even see. I mean, I'm gonna say that it was there, but you can't see it. It's up there, and on the top of the peak there's a tiny little building. I can see it with my, when I was there riding, I could see it with my eyes. And I knew that the GoPro just isn't going to be able to pick it up, but I still pointed it out anyways. Alright, so I get off here.
Did you see the lookout tower?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Right there, like straight ahead of me, that big granite wall mountain in the distance there, right at the top, the peak, the highest portion of there. There's a little building, and that's Shut Eye.
The GoPro probably, I'm sure. I think that on the very tip of that, you can see a little building structure, and that's Shut Eye Peak.
Yeah, and there's a lookout. So the Sierras are full of these little lookout stations.
Yeah, Shut Eye says it's right out there. So
that have.
And then there's a campground right there.
Yeah.
I see people on cars.
All right, shut up. I'm trying to talk here. So the top there, they got these lookouts, and they still use them today. And my actual brother-in-law, he does a different lookout, which is, I guess, up by, on your way to Grant Grove, up the 180. And he goes up, he's a volunteer, and he's got his days throughout the summer. He's got to go up there. We have fires every single year here in the Sierras, and so these lookouts are still used to this day, and someone will just sit up there, camp, and when they see smoke, fire, you know, they call it in, and that's how we fight our fires here in California, is that these guys are calling in these fires. All right, so we got a fallen tree here. It's still got the little stubby branches around, and I'm going to show you how I get through this stuff. Like, I don't take the chicken lines. Now, it's not easy. This is a big tree, and because it has those little stubby branches still on it, you do catch your bike on it. So I got that stubby little, yeah, it's right on my brake. Look down, my rear brake there. I got off that, moved it over. So having those little stubby branches on make it a little bit tricky. And my bike's almost into 12 o'clock position here. So I got off the bike. It's up enough where I can teeter it over. I teetered over. And what I tried not to do is have the bike fall. If you want to save energy, keep your bike balanced. It takes a little bit slower, like be patient is what I'm saying. Be patient, keep the bike balanced, and it saves a lot of energy. So she didn't fall over. I didn't have to deadlift her up or anything like that. Yeah, I didn't get a one-shot, like, ride it over, which I do get those later on, you'll see. But those big ones,
Oh,
as
big
long
one.
as she's not, I'm not pulling, not dragging, I save a lot of energy. There's another one up in the air, makes it a little tricky. Come far to the left here. It's got that gap here. I'm gonna do the 511 special. Weight back, give it a throttle, throw the weight forward, drop the clutch, and she just pops right over. And you got a branch right to the face. So doing that saves a ton of energy, and then I'm still riding the trail. You know, I love that I don't have to go around obstacles. I can just hit them. And as I was saying before, you know, if you're gonna race hard enduro, that kind of stuff is gonna be on the race. So you gotta be able to do it here, because if you think, well, I'm just gonna wait until it's in the race, no, you're gonna die in the race. If you can't do it on the trail, you're not gonna be able to do it on the race, because the race is like no freaking mercy, and they're gonna have a ton of this stuff, and you're just gonna be dead. Yeah, county. So I get to the back side. This is kind of the north side of Whiskey Ridge here, and the trail starts getting more rustic. So less people are traveling. There's a lot of fallen logs through here. You watch out for this one. Look, fallen tree. It's like a joust stick. If you're coming the other way, that would get you really bad. Give it a little push, and she had enough give on it. I just kind of pushed it to the side and snaked on through. There's a big fallen redwood up here. Yeah, I know. This was a big one. Off. There's a cheat line to the left. But I don't like to do the cheat line. This is the hard stuff here. We ride the hard stuff in hardcore enduro. So this is how I get over big tree off the trail. You can't fall right. If you fall right here, you're gonna go down quite a bit. You know, I'm trying not to fall. Like I said, being patient, making sure the bike doesn't fall. If the bike doesn't fall, it saves me energy. So doing the old 511. I didn't time it right. You see, I threw my weight forward without timing it with the clutch. And so she didn't go. Anyways, I set it up. Here's the second try at it. Boom, pops it over.
There it goes.
And for these giant logs like that, get it on the skid plate. That's a win right there. That is the level I'm at, anyways. Because once she's on the skid plate, she's going over. Now, because it's at this angle and this redwood's got that gnarly little bark, my bike is just digging into it, so it's not sliding over. So I'm gonna lift up the back end just a little bit and get that tire, the rear tire, up on the bark there. That rear tire's up on the bark. Now when I'm gonna drop the clutch, and the tire will, you know, pull the bike forward, and she'll be over. Boom. She's over, just like that, y'all. Not out of it though. There's one more little fallen tree to my right, which got this bush right in the front of the way. Trixie the tank. She just bulldozed her way right through that kind of stuff.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. Wasn't pretty, but I'll take it. There's that chicken line to the left right there. So that's people going around. See, I did it. You didn't have to go around. You could just went over the tree just like I did. That's how it's done, folks. All right, another big one here. I did take the little chicken line. I was like, oh man, there might be more fallen trees that I'm anticipating. So I was like, all right, you got to conserve your energy. I haven't ridden this area before, so I was like, oh man, if I gas myself out and it gets really bad, I don't want to put myself in a bad spot. So if there was just an easy little like that was an easy little bypass, I did take it. Really pretty riding through all these green ferns through here. We haven't got to the burnout section of the forest. We did ride it in the beginning, and then you ride through this area. It wasn't burnout. It was real green and pretty, nice and cool. But coming up, we'll hit where the fire hit, and all these trees will just be stripped down, like right now. All right, so we had some fallen logs there, just a little too messy. And they're real little, so that would have been hard to get over. So I did go around here, kind of blaze my own way through here. There was a little chicken line a little up higher to the right, which I just kept a little bit low. So you can see that line coming right there. That's where that line came down. So it just went just a little bit. So just a little bypass there. No harm, no foul. But yeah, that fire just went all through here. So you got all this new little growth. And it, like I said earlier, this new growth really hides some of the fallen logs and branches. So just being a little careful through there. Get up here, there's a ridge here. And there's a trail. See this little trail going to the right? Yeah, straight right here. And then it curves around left. And then I saw there's tracks. So there's someone's been through here, so there are some tracks. And they get up here and they go up. So I pulled that up for a while, and then they kind of stopped. So I think they just turned around. So I ended up turning around as well. So I'm coming back down, getting back onto this service road here. And this is where it starts getting really bad, folks. These are all the logs. This is where everyone was turning around, and I get onto a trail that is just me. Like it gets really bad, and then I have to find a way out of there. I kind of get to a dead end, I'd say. It would have been really hard to keep on going on that service road. So there's a split that I did, and I took the right split, the right side. So I'm on this right side right now. You can see there's no more trail. There's a road here. This was a service road. There's obviously no more new tracks. So I'm just kind of zigging, zagging around some of these fallen dead trees. If I could get a good setup, a good run up to it, then I'll hit it. But you know, you got to pick your battles, and I can't afford to get gas myself out in the middle of nowhere here. Just up and to the right and around that once again. Now there's a really big one coming up here. Not this one, but the next one. The next one's really big. And I have to go around and actually go under it. This one right here. They're always a little bit bigger than they look on camera. Get up high, so I'm getting that tree kind of as low as possible. And then I'm going to pivot left. She's going to be high centered on the skid plate here, and then I'll rock it back. So I'll pull back on the handlebars, rock it back, so that rear tire makes contact, and then it gives that little bit of jump right there. See that? It just got a little bit of a jump right there. So there's that big tree, big left pivot right there. Yeah, and then I'm gonna go through these ferns, praying that there's not some hidden object, some obstacle that the ferns are hiding. Get in here, and then I'm going to turn right and kind of go underneath this big one. Right here, I start thinking now, I'm like, you know, this is getting kind of ridiculous. Maybe I should just stop, turn around. But I saw a clearing back before there was a clearing. The road looked like it opened up a little bit, so I'm like, all right, just get past this one. So I'm off the bike, letting the bike, Trixie, kind of go by herself. I get her up to that point, and then I hop back on her. A lot of these dead sticks and branches everywhere. Oh, this is rough. Kind of ugly riding right now. This probably turns a lot of guys off right here in riding, but I love this trail riding. To me, this is an adventure, and this is what I like about dirt bikes and the hard enduro style of riding, is that stuff like this, once you are capable of doing it, you know, I don't see it as a factor of I can't go this way. I'm like, all right, well, it's going to be a little slower, but I know Trixie, she can still make it. Now I get through, it clears up a little bit, but then it just dead ends right here. The road goes left right there, but there was just nothing. And I had nothing now for about a quarter mile into this little turnout, and I was like, all right, let's get back to the main road. So I go back up the hill. I don't want to do all those trees again, so I'm like, all right, just do a little climb here. It was pretty steep, so that was this first attempt. Second attempt right here. Make it a little higher. All right, third attempt. Let's go, girl. Let's go. Now that branch stop. I'm gonna blame that branch right there. I get up to this right here, and I'm like, instead of doing it a fourth time probably should have done it a fourth time, would have made it up. But I do a left pivot here, and I'm gonna side hill it past this rock ledge. Because on top of this rock ledge, it flattens out. And I'm like, all right, if I could just side hill it over. It's real steep to the left there. That's a big drop to the left. And there's some dirt and pine needles up here, and I just gotta be easy on the throttle. This is another skill, side hilling, of being gentle on that throttle, and then controlling it with the clutch, trying to prevent any wheel spin. Now, if that rear tire spins, she's gonna wash out, slide out, and that back end will drop. Really good, just nice and easy. She kept traction, and I'm gonna pivot now, do a switchback back to the right. Trixie, she's really up. I'm almost 12 o'clock position there. You can see I'm off the bike there. I get 1 foot on her again. Just doing that kind of little pivot, little popping that front end over a little bit. Now the pros can do this easy, and they'll do it on the side of a cliff or mountain, you know, and when you're doing it, it feels a little sketchy, you know, because if you know you loop the bike out, you're gonna have to do this all over again. It's just gonna be a lot more work, but was patient with it enough, and then got her on over. So I go up this ridge, and I'll go back down, get back onto the main line, and where I went right before, down this dead end, I'll continue going left. So here we go. There's where I went right before. I went right there, so now I'm going left. Now there's still some tracks, so someone has been down this way. So it's giving me hope. You know, you get out here, and sometimes you get mentally in your head that you get, you know, a little out of your element. You're like, oh man, this is a little above my pay grade out here. But I see the tracks, and I'm like, all right, someone's done it, and I know I can do it. I just gotta stay calm, and I'm doing good on water. The Trixie, she's running fine, so there's really no reason for me to panic. Got a low branch here, got to duck down, see if I can get through without snagging the bag. I always snag the bag.
I hit the bag.
Oh, I hit the bag, yes.
Every time.
I do it every time. Yeah, no matter how far I duck down, the bag will snag. Got some dust. Even there's no dust up here, I've still got dust. I don't know how that works. Now when you ride in a big group or after the race, like your face is just brown, black with all the dirt and then sweat, turns it into mud. And I'm riding solo. I got this freaking air. Oh, yeah, never underestimate a log or a branch. Even that tiny, oh, that thing caught my shoulder. That tiny little branch caught my front tire. Look at all these sticks lined up. So this has been established for a while because people have put those sticks there to make it like a little bridge to get up and over. And I don't know I don't know when they did that. That had been not too long ago, or maybe it was a long time ago. You can tell no one's ridden here in a while because all this new brush is just growing up and over any kind of pre-existing trail. Come on, Trixie, bulldoze your way through that. Yeah. Trixie, the tank, I need to put like a bulldozer blade on the front of her. She just bulldoze her way through all this stuff. Got a little creek to cross down here. I was having my doubts at this time, but I was getting kind of tired. Today's ride was about a little over 4 hours today, so I was about 3 hours into the ride by now. So I was a little tired. I looked straight right there and I was like, oh no, this trail's done. And then I looked left and I'm like, oh, the trail goes up here. Saved. I was about to say, call it. I'd be like, I'm turning around, but then I saw the trail up here. I'm like, well, it keeps on going. Gotta keep going. There is, now this part of the trail, it used to be like this dam road. It's like they had these little water dams, and it got washed out. So as you see here, it washes out right here, and it gets real cliffy on the left, a real steep drop down. It's got all these big bouldery rocks, so you got to keep your balance here. If you can, keep weight on that outside peg, and roll past these steep sections. Don't stop on where it's the steep. Get past it. And then, folks, look at this spider right above my right hand guard. Look at that big spider. That thing is a giant.
Look at that thing.
That thing was massive. Oh my God. I wonder how many spiders I've gone through already like that. All right, got a little rock climb up here. Just making sure that there's not a log that's gonna hit me and kick me out. Once I see the coast is clear, I'm gonna give it a go. Yeah, buddy, Trixie, making it look easy today. Yeah, spider back there. It makes me think. I do a lot of trailblazing, you know. I like riding these kind of forgotten trails. And there's many times I've been riding, like, go right through a big old spider web, and I was like, man, I wonder how many times I've had a little hitchhiker spider following me and never even knew it. That thing was big old massive spider. Get up and around that little tree there. But I was kind of relieved. I'm like, okay, maybe that all the fallen stuff is done. Maybe it's gonna clear out. Now I was looking on my map ahead, and there was like a main service road that was still about a half mile ahead of me, and I was hoping to get that. And I hope it was like a Jeep road, like a service road. And I was like, all right, because I'm getting kind of worn out here. Now I can do these logs, but I'd like a little breather, you know, it's some wind going. It's starting to heat up a little bit, and I need a little bit of airflow to cool me off. I was starting to get kind of hot, and when it gets hot, you start just sucking down your water, and I'm like, I don't want to run out of water over here. Now I do ride with a little water filter purification stick.
My tire was just in there.
Yeah, my back tire got stuck in the air.
My bad.
Yeah, got several big logs here. I should have hit that one actually. That wasn't too bad. So I go up here and I still got to cross the log anyway. So sometimes you go for the bypass and you end up still having to go over a log anyway. So you might as well just hit it back on the road. There you go, looking like a pro. See, when you hit these logs, folks, you can actually go through them pretty quick. They don't take that much energy, and where you're like, oh no, I got to turn around. You just hit them and do them, and they're over and done with. You know, I've watched Tristan Hart a lot, and like he doesn't even slow down. He just goes right over this stuff. Just kind of a messy bunch of dead branches and fallen trees here. So I'm like, all right. Like I said back there, I was thinking, all right, I'm just gonna go through it. Not gonna go around. You're just gonna go through it the hard way. Come on, girl. Gonna pull back, get some traction on. And I got her far enough in that skid plate where now she can just pull over. Now this is a pretty big tree right here. The one in front of me is bigger than the one I just went over, but if I do the 511 right, watch, I get this, wait back, wait forward, zap it, boom, she's up and over. I didn't have to push or anything, so I let the bike do all the work, and it saves a ton of energy. Watch this left pivot, y'all. Pivot, boom. A little far in my placement of the tire, but still pretty good. I normally like to have that front tire just kind of on that top 3/4 portion of the log, but it still worked. Up and over once again, not too hard. Really didn't use that much energy to cross over those big logs. These ones are actually tricky because you have to pivot over them. You know, if they're perpendicular, you can get a nice squared up shot to it, but when they're running parallel with you, you got to do this pivot, which I really haven't practiced too much. I guess I should try practicing the pivot turn, a log hop. I don't know if there's a name for that. I think there is. I saw it on the Cross Trainer Enduro the Australian guy. They used to teach a lot of videos. They're kind of older videos now. They still come out with new ones all the time, but their training videos that they did are some of their older ones, and they're really good. If you guys haven't gone to Cross Trainer Enduro, their YouTube channel, their older videos, they have a lot of good training videos. So I recommend them, and of course Rich from IRC Tire Guy. He does excellent training videos all the time, and he stays pretty current with his training. So those are kind of the two, of course, training videos, the go-tos that I use. Got this little labyrinth of tiny little sticks. These like those East Coast trees, where it's just little stick trees everywhere, and kind of like a maze trying to get through them all. Tall brush right here, just going slow. Like I don't want there to be a hole. The road drops down to the left here, and these bushes kind of hide anything that could be in there. Just being a little patient, not just blasting through here, and then you know, like I said, you catch something and go over the handlebars. It's slow. It's painful to watch. Sorry, folks. Doing a high-speed video, this ain't it. This is a lot of the riding that I do, just kind of trailblazing, riding these old abandoned trails. You know, forest fires go through here, and then get all these fallen dead trees, and you gotta get over them. But I like doing it. To me, it's like a puzzle. It's like, how do I get through here? And I'm at the point in my life riding where my skill, I'm good enough that I can, you know. It's not pretty all the time, but I know I'm not going to get stuck. As long as the bike don't break and I don't do something stupid, I'm going to be able to get through it. Now up here, if you look to the right, up right on that ridge, you see there's some granite slab up there, and there's like a crack in the slab. I'm going to be going right up that slab, and it is big. It is steep. And I end up going up right there. I went further down the trail, and I came back, and right back there I go up. There's a creek here, some running water. I was pretty damn hot at this point, so I get off, and I love these little creeks. These are lifesavers here. Now I gotta get some water on my head, cool myself off a little bit. There's no wind, there's no breeze out here, and it is getting hot, so just cool myself off before I start this big hill climb. And there's a trail, of all things, there is a trail going up here. And so I'm not the only crazy guy that did all this log hopping to get to this point and saying, oh, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna climb this hill and get the hell out of here. There was a line. Now this is a level of line you'd have on a hard enduro race. This might even be as close to a pro line as you'd get. So this is a pretty steep climb, kind of zigzagging your way up here, and then it's gonna get to this granite rock slab face that it is probably about 100 yards tall, and you can't fall. Now I got the Metzler 60 on there, but any gummy tire would be good, but you cannot fall. If you fall going up this granite slab, your bike is sliding all the way down to the bottom, or you're doing a somersault all the way down to the bottom, and it is a pretty long ways. I should have pivoted left right there. I don't. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna keep on going up on the, because there's some rock slab, and I know if I can stay on the rock slab, I get a lot of traction. Which I get up here, I get the rear tire up as high. I should have got a little bit higher. Pivoted over left, so now I'm side hilling over. And this is where that control of not letting that rear tire slip and carrying a little bit momentum. Keep that back end from slipping down, but she slips down on me. Even with all that, see, she slipped down again. Ride her one more time, and this is where you just spend so much energy. Anytime you gotta pick the bike up, this is where you start huffing and puffing. That heart rate's going high. Now I'll get on the main line again. I get to see how many times I'm using that 511 special. You use it over and over and over and over and over again. So get some practice at it. When you do hard enduro, you're gonna be doing that move over and over again. But it works. And the more you do it, the better it gets. Here's a little side hill. Actually carried the momentum over, got it over that little off-camber piece here. You got a nice deep rut. Lots of traction through here. Now front tire is a little ledge. I gotta get up and over for the front tire. There, it's up. Now the back tire, same thing. Do the special right there, up and over. Now you got this. I could pivot left right there, or go straight. This is really steep. I'm just gonna go straight on up. And I kind of chickened out.
That's half-assed.
I know, I gave it the old 50% effort, so I only made it 50% of the way. Thanks, Vince, for that quote right there. Yeah, see, if I gave it 100% effort, the bike got the traction. I needed to stay up forward. I need to get my body weight forward, and Trixie, she would have climbed up that. But she made it halfway, which was good enough. I stood her up, and she was able to keep on going from there. Pivoted over left. I'm getting closer to that granite slab up ahead, y'all. I'm looking at it, and I'm already thinking, crap, you know, it's really steep. When you're there, the GoPro doesn't show, but it is steep, and it just keeps on going. You're like, oh, there it is. You can see that ski run.
Holy crap.
I know, crap, I'm telling you. When you're there, it's intimidating to look at. So I get off the bike, I walk on over here just to get a good look at it.
All the way to the top.
And it is all or nothing, folks. Like, it's in my head, all right? It's just all or nothing. Like, you can't stop until you get to the top. I can't do the half-ass 50% anymore. So I do take a little breather here, and then
hardcore enduro.
Yeah.
Show us what you got.
Let's go. It's kind of this weird turn, but once you're up, that front end just keeps popping up, and I'm trying to get as forward on the bike as I can, keeping that momentum going. It is steep here, but that tire she grabs. Yeah, I made it up, y'all. And then it doesn't stop. It just keeps on going. All right, but the steepest part is over now. So now this is easy. Now I'm going up, no problem. But I kind of lose track of where the trail goes. Go left, so I think this is still it right here. It's a little chunky, but it's still uphill. I can't not stay on the gas. I gotta keep climbing. This total climb, I think, was about 600 feet from where I started to the very top, where the hill kind of crests over. So you just kind of stay on the gas the whole time. Not whiskey throttling, but just keeping a nice steady climb right there. Just keeping that momentum going. Now I'm getting off left here. I need to go back right to stay on the line, but see, I'm keep coming left, so I needed to stay right back there. So I'm off the main line. And then it caused me, I got to kind of zigzag, kind of trailblaze through the trees right here, which I was like, oh man, but fallen tree. I still got about another 200, maybe 250 feet to climb up till I get to that crest of that hill up there. And I'm having to trailblaze, where if I would have stayed right, I would have stayed on kind of a clear path. So if you guys come this way, stay to the right, and you'll get this clear path. You won't have to do this trail blazing, making yourself work twice as hard as you would have. Now coming up here, my wheel is just a little cockeyed from when I fell back there. And I'm gonna come up to this tree and give it the old little tire knock. And then as soon as I go and I dart into the next tree right here, and it bends it back again. I was like, you got to be kidding. I didn't know until I started riding, but I was like, oh, I just did it back the other way. So I had to stop at a point and re-straighten her out. But I think this might be back on the line now. I think it's still to the right a little bit more. So I'm still a little bit left of where the main line is, but at this point, it's not too hard. It's pretty easy going through here. It's still an uphill climb. I'm still going for that summit up there, and I felt bad. So today I'm riding with what I've talked about in previous videos, and I've been wanting to do for like over a year now, is start placing little cash cans out here. For the people watching the videos, I thought it'd be fun to have like a little Easter egg hunt, little treasure hunt for y'all. And I had that in my backpack, and that climb back there, Now I kept climbing because I was hoping there'd be like a big lookout section up here, but there wasn't. And I should have placed it at the base where that granite slab started. I should have placed the cam there, and it's in my backpack, and I didn't go back down to place it, but I don't know. I should have done it anyways, because that was the whole point of bringing the damn thing. I'm in my backpack. I'm carrying this 30 caliber ammo can with full of stickers. And I got a pen. And I got a sign-in book too. So when you guys watch the video, you'll know where the secret treasure is, or the ammo can. So I thought it was kind of fun. You know, I like that kind of stuff, kind of nerdy that way. The little sign-in can. I think it's fun. You get out here and ride, and only you guys would know. You know, everyone else, they might do the ride out here, but they'd never know there's a little secret sign-in cash can right there. But I get up here, and I meet the main line again. So there it is, off to the right. So I went way to the left. I got off the line. Anyways, still ended up the same spot, back on the line here. Get to the summit of the hill, sort of. Really cool riding that. You know, that was a cool find. Obviously, other people ride here, so people do know about this climb here. It's pretty intense. If you guys make it this far, then you've got a level of riding that is equal or better than mine. And heads up too. Now right here, I do what I call Plan B. So you got Plan A, which I always do Plan A. Saw this big log, and there was a little cheat line around it, but I get up and over it. I do the 511 here. It doesn't quite work. And if you saw Donner, I had a log like this at Donner. It's about this size log is what they work for. So you get off the bike. So I'm just standing, and I'll give it a little gas. I get that rear tire all the way far forward as I can, and then I'll kind of wag and walk the bike over back and forth. Keep the balance and getting that up on that skid plate. That skid plate will grab, and she's up and balanced. Now I can get up on top of her and I can ride her off. But the bike didn't fall. Other than kind of rocking her back and forth a little bit to get her up there, I really didn't have to try. You'll see guys like pushing their bike over, dragging it over. You know, and they really use a lot of energy to get that to happen. Whereas you do this technique where you get off, you just kind of walk it forward, walk it behind it, and you get that front tire, then you kind of push it. Sometimes you can get that weight to carry over, and she'll just ride herself. Or if you just kind of wag it a little bit and walk it up there, rocking it back and forth, then that bike gets up on top of that log, and you just get up there and ride on over. Bike doesn't fall. You don't have to deadlift it. It's not upside down. You know, it's just weird. It's just easy, saves energy. Now, I'm not a pro, y'all, so you can say, well, I would do it like this. Well, yeah, if you're at the level where you could just hit that, get it right over, well, freaking do that then, and don't do what I did. But if you're at my level, or if I tried to hit it, I'd probably loop it out, and I'm just not there yet. You know, when I get there, I'll be doing that. But for right now, that seems to work for me pretty good, and it saves me a lot of energy. Yeah, it's a little slower, but I'm not gassed, you know, and dying by the end of it. I can just get on and off I go. So I'm up on top of the ridge line now. All the hard stuff is over now. Now it's easy from here on out. I'm gonna start heading back down, back to the rig, get on some of those service roads. And I really enjoyed this area. Whiskey Ridge is pretty cool. I need to come back here. I'm sure there's some other hidden lines out here. You know, I bet there's a bunch of hidden lines out here. But this is one of them. So if you stayed this far in the video, you found a little secret hard line out here. And get out there, come and hit it. And with that, we're gonna bring this video to an end. Hope you enjoyed it. This is Whiskey Ridge with the Whiskey Falls and with the little whiskey in the glass. It's been a fun time, y'all. Shout out to Jack. I got my stickers for you, Jack, and I'm gonna be sending those to you here shortly with I think a book or two for you. Anyways, till next video comes out, get out and ride and get some. Ew!